Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome to Irreverent Knits. I am Tracy, owner of Low Country Shrimp and Knits, and with me is Judi, owner of Maggie Loves Yarn, and we yet again have survived. It's
another week.
Another week.
Survived another year.
I did. I have now officially made it to the last year of my 40s, so it's a little crazy, but here I am. And in fact, I got, my kids always say, well, what do you want for your birthday, Mom? I'm like,
5 years at it.
I don't think they can do that. Yeah.
It's really depressing as you get older and you have, they go 21 to 35, 35
Oh, you have to go into that next. I'm almost there.
65 to death.
Yeah, right. Mine. I'm excited because this is my last year when I'm a runner and I'm in the age bracket. I'm at the end. So now I'm like, these people are 40 and they're running against me. Next year I'll be the young whippersnapper.
That's right.
I'll be the whippersnapper.
You'll just run right past those walkers.
That's right. That's right. Got you. So my daughter is an artist. I always talk about her, and of course I'm biased because she's my baby girl. But look at how pretty she made me. This.
Gorgeous.
She made this for me. I absolutely love octopuses. So in fact, that's why I have the logo that I do for my shop.
You've reached the age with kids, because I've learned this from my kids. As you get older, it's like, oh, damn, it's Mom's birthday. I'll just frame a picture of me that I have taken somewhere. She'll like it.
She'll love
That's all I ever get, pictures. But I give the grandkids, and that's
all right. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I got that, and my lovely knitting friends here. I just love my little family here of knitters, and I got beautiful, delicious brownies from Arlene, and I got these gorgeous. Have you tried these? There's brown.
I'm supposed to be watching my sugar.
Well, birthday fair doesn't have any calories.
Snickerdoodles.
Yeah, they're like a brown butter.
Oh,
yeah.
She's made those before.
Yeah, look at.
I may take one home with me.
Yes, please do, because otherwise I'm going to eat the darn things. I've already had to sample 6 of them for dinner last night because just in case. So that was fun. Here we go. But
I'm sorry I couldn't be here.
That's all right, girl. You have a life sometimes.
Brought you stuff Tuesday.
I know, you're so good to me, and I love you. You're a delight. She's a delight. She's my knitting bestie and my shop wife, and I love her to death. So
it's the allergies. I'm sorry.
It's right now. You can tell because my hair will start to get larger as the show goes on. No matter what I put in it, the humidity is just really.
And I smell like I use something because I sniff. I sound like I use something.
She started her morning with cocaine. So
no, not really.
Oh,
no.
Not so much. Okay.
Not cocaine.
So all right. Let's talk about where we are. So last, couple of weeks, I told you that I was trying to get a swatch to work. 8 swatches later, nothing came together. And so I've tried to kind of throw together my own pattern because I really wanted to make this one design down the center. And so now there's no pattern for me at this point. I'm kind of just waiting for the best. So I followed this, the inside, like the kind of basics for the shirt for this sweater. I did all the way up to what I think is going to be the top. I'm not sure how we're going to finish this off quite yet. That's where I need Judi. So when I divided out, I did 15 inches like we talked about last time. So we did from the bottom to like right about here where it measures in my shirt. And then this is where I didn't take it off the needles yet, even though normally I should at least put it on waste yarn. I didn't because I was like, well, we might still knit on this. So I can't put it on, but I did get the bottom to where I want. And I'm right about here. So where do we start to measure to know that it's going to... Are you going
to go straight up, kind of make a squared off?
I don't know. That's where I was kind of wondering, do we do a little bit of a dip and have the shoulders come up a little bit more?
Because you're going to shape the back?
Well, that's also what we wanted to talk about. So I just started, it's just a simple stockinette in the back. So what do I do now? Because you've done this, you do this pretty much for everything you do. Where do I take this next? How do I decide, if I'm done here and then start to shape the neck? How do I...
If you're done, you should be done here because now you got to start shaping.
Right. So I think that's where I am. So now at this point, I've gotten to as much of this as I think I need to do, but now I need to start to shape the neckline. So
what was on the pattern that you liked and it didn't work with that yarn? How do they have you do it? Because that's what I would do.
Well,
I would just modify one of your favorite patterns to this.
Yeah. Well, that's what I started to do with it, and then, I don't know, of course it's somewhere in this pile.
That's all right.
But anyway, so that's kind of what I've been doing. So I divided the back. What I figure I'll do is just make the back and the front sort of match, and then we'll go kind of shaping what we're doing from there.
How many stitches do you have on here?
Oh, girl, I don't know.
Oh, you dropped one.
Oh,
wait a minute. Don't move.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many
sure?
stitches I have on there. Do you need me to pick it up?
I've got it. Where's your... Just give me a thing and no.
A thing? What thing? Here, you choose a thing.
I want a safety pin.
Oh,
where's your...
It's over here.
Excuse us a moment.
Thing. She wants a thing. She wants a thing. Okay. Oh, okay.
What is this thing?
Let me get you. That's a marshmallow.
It looks like a tooth.
It looks like...
I keep wanting to call it a tooth.
No, they're cute little... So my intent...
A tooth with black. Look, this is how you don't want your teeth to look. It's got black on it.
It does. Now, these are... they're adorable little marshmallow cups, and they're for hot chocolate. And I had gotten them because a long time ago, I saw these cute patterns where you make little hats for them. And I thought, oh my God, this is so cute. I'll just make
that
different...
falls right in with, let's knit sweaters for chickens or something.
Yes, it's exactly what it is. And I was like, this will be so cute. We'll make hats for every season. And then life. And so not one hat has been made. But if anyone would like to make a cute hat for these guys, they sit on my desk and are full of
But I
knitting,
like them being full of stuff.
Yeah, well, they are too. Like this one is full of, you know, tapestry
Things.
needles and cords and yeah.
People dig through them all the time.
Yeah.
See, when you floss, when you don't floss.
Dental health matters.
This public service announcement has been brought to you by Low Country Shrimp and Knits.
Floss your teeth, otherwise this is what it comes out to be. So, okay, anyway. So, all right, so we got to start to, I don't know how many stitches are on here. Are we counting that? Is that what you're asking me?
No, I didn't. Excuse me, that was really
Yes, you did. You just asked me how many stitches are on here.
Well, I didn't count them.
I know.
I am so stopped up all of a sudden. I am so sorry.
Why do you need to know how many stitches are on here? Does it matter?
Well,
I can count if you
yeah, in
want.
case you don't want one shoulder bigger than the other.
Well,
I mean, let's come
right.
on.
Well, we want them to be even. I get that. So we want them to be even. But then at one, and I do want to have little like what are they called, caplets? Little.
Okay.
Just
then
little.
probably what you're going to do is, let me think.
Obviously, this needs some, you know, it's not caught up yet. So I still have some knitting to do on this one, but I wanted to continue with this pattern because I'm following another pattern. It's upside down. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making it up as I go. And I figured if I stopped, then I would not know where it was.
You're going to have to do some here.
Yes.
So that means you're going to put these and those on holders.
Right.
So yeah, I'd look at the other pattern and
All
see
right.
how they did it.
All right.
Because the one I did, the Hattie tee, it was more squared off.
Okay.
Now, if you want it squared off, then it's...
Would that be like a boat neck?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a boat
And then you
neck.
would just do like a little edge stitch here, which would be like, just a couple stitches.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I would do an edge stitch here and then on the pattern and then
Just to bind it off. Like bind it off and maybe do a couple rows and then do a really pretty edge stitch.
Yeah, that might be good.
But then, no, that wouldn't, because that would bring it up. Well, I would bring it up a little bit higher than your...
Collarbones?
Yeah, you might want to try it and see.
We can fiddle
Put
around with
a
it.
lifeline in and see.
When I get to the part where I'm going to join these two, I would like you to help me because Judy's got this one stitch that she uses and you can't even see that it's been joined. It looks like it's been...
3 needle bind off shoulders.
It's amazing. So we'll have to have a class on that here and show you kind of how it works because you honestly can't tell it's been seamed. And it looks like it's been knit all one piece. So that is something that I definitely want to take advantage of. Oh, yeah. So look at. Isn't this amazing? It looks perfect. It looks perfect. We are going to showcase this beauty. Woo! It's all finished, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. So if you are trying to measure, and we talked about this a little bit via text messages, if you're going to try to measure now how long, where are you measuring? Do you just follow a shirt that fits you well?
You can do that.
Okay.
If you're measuring, because you're starting from scratch, there's a couple places. One is from the ball socket.
Okay.
So like even when you're measuring your shoulder,
Yep.
you measure from edge to the ball socket.
Okay.
So you could measure there.
Okay.
And then another one has you measure from
the bottom here?
to here.
To here, okay.
At an angle.
Okay.
At an angle, so
okay.
you can see that, because sometimes, oh, this fits really good, but it, you know.
My problem is this, and I
whatever.
don't like it when it's too tight. So
yeah.
So
there's a couple areas. That's where they show you to measure. I've never understood how you actually incorporate it into a sweater.
Okay.
But we'll learn.
We'll just figure out lengthwise if this is even going to make sense. This is going to be a lot of trial and error. And so that's kind of where we want to go to today. Is a lot of knitting is, it's okay to rip it out. It's okay to start over. It's
not a failure.
It's not a failure. It's okay if you got this far in a project and are like, and it's just not working out the way that I thought in my head it would, or the way.
I did that this week.
I know. So talk about your. I can't even believe you did it.
I ripped out my Aztec Mafia.
So if you
Iso Turco.
Iso Turco.
Well, you know what? Because I'd had it.
I mean, it was like this much.
I had
knit.
it on. I had it on a barber cord, and I finally spread it out and realized it was like your sweater,
the size of Egypt.
Too big.
The size of Egypt.
And then I was like, I really don't like it. So I thought, well, this is just going to be one of those. It was a good idea, but it never worked out. But then I started looking on Ravelry, because more people had done it.
Yeah.
And somebody had done it in DK, and she just went up 2 sizes. So I went, oh.
Up 2 sizes of the needle, or up 2 sizes of the actual piece?
Size.
Okay.
So then I went back in and I played, and yeah.
All right.
So that's what I'm doing.
But didn't you do, so I know you, when we were putting this together in the first place, you did a bunch of different swatches.
I did, but I didn't. I don't know why I didn't think to do it that way. I was just really looking at my size and trying to get it to work,
right?
Because there hadn't been that many people do it yet.
Yeah.
And so I was.
Because it was a new book that had just come out.
I was trying to get it to work with the size I wanted, and finally, when I saw somebody else do it, it was like, oh. Didn't think of that. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
So Ravelry can really not only be a fabulous place to lose yourself just looking and dreaming and then putting everything into some kind of holding tank of I'm going to work on this, or I favorited this, but it's also it's got a litany of information available to you.
Well, especially that one. There was another one in there that I want to do in the knitted Kalevala. Mm-hmm. There's another one I wanted to do. I thought, well, maybe I'll do that one instead. And same thing. When it starts saying there's 6 to 10 inches of positive ease.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So I go into Ravelry and I go into the projects. And this is what I do. So this is why I say, don't just take a picture of it laying there. Put it on.
Right. See how it fits.
Well, I look for people who are built like me.
Right. That's smart.
And then I see what size they did.
So this is 10 inches, okay? This is how much.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of ease. That could change your pattern this much. So if you are normally, like, I'm a size 6. So normally it's 10 inches is, I mean, that's adding quite a bit of size.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it hangs poorly. It makes you look frumpy. So there are definitely things to look for. Also, a lot of times in Ravelry, so you find this pattern, and, I think we've all fallen victim to it. Like, oh my God, I love this pattern. And then you work on it. It doesn't look anything like the picture. You can't figure out what's wrong with it. What have you done wrong? And sometimes it's not you. Sometimes the pattern's wrong. So Ravelry is great because you can figure out how many people have done it. All right. Well, if only a couple people have done it, maybe there's something off about it.
Yeah, if nobody's done it, run away.
Run away. So, and if people have done it and can, make comments on it, people are good. They will say, I made this, but I found it to be tighter than they said. Or, I made this, but I didn't like this yarn with it. And so, other things that we used it for.
Right, exactly. There are people. You made me lose my train of thought. I'll go into. Like I said, I'll look for somebody that's built like me.
Yeah.
And I'll look, and they'll say, "Well, I came down a size," and it's like, "Oh yeah," and I made it this size, and I'm like, "No, you shouldn't have."
Right. Right.
I should have gone up a size 2. But then also in the yarn, I started looking at the yarn details, the different yarn that the people have used, and I'll go, "Ooh, I hadn't thought about that yarn." And I'll look, or I'm thinking about a yarn and somebody has used it,
right,
and I'll look to see how it makes up, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's not bad.
The other thing that's really good about it is because we live in the South, and so we still love to make sweaters. I love making sweaters.
And everybody does down here.
Everybody makes them, but they're just too heavy. A lot of the patterns are for, Norwegian, they're wool, they're very heavy, they're used chunky, thick wool things. We just can't. We can, but we wouldn't wear it.
No.
So it's a great resource to see what other people have used in other types of yarns, weights of yarns. When we were doing... God, what was it? What did you just finish? My Flaming Dumpster. Flaming June. Flaming June. So when we were working on Flaming June. I know! Yay!
No, I did not bring it.
That's all right. We believe you. I saw a picture.
I had enough crap.
I saw a picture of it. It looks so good. But when we were coming up with Flaming June, it was done. You had done it on something heavier before. Was it linen? No. It pulled years weight. It was hemp. That's what Judi had done it with hemp, and it stretched.
That's what it called for.
Yes, it called for hemp, and it just stretches. It grows.
And somebody did it in variegated.
Yes.
And when we looked it up, it was like,
yes,
no, it didn't work.
So in that case, we knew she had been the lab rat to say, if we're gonna do hemp, we gotta adjust. And I don't personally like the feel of hemp. I don't care for knitting with hemp. In fact, I don't even carry it at the shop because I don't want to put it away. But anyway, so. We went in and we looked back and forth, and that's how we found Juniper Moon Farms Zoe, and because it's got a linen cotton blend, and it's really good for down here. So it's lighter. It's definitely, but it does have a little stretch to it. So again, we need to make sure that you incorporate that.
Yeah, mine is already stretched a little bit, but that's okay.
I gotta admit,
I think mine will just be on over jeans when I go somewhere.
Yeah, mine is stretched, but I am very bad because I use it in the shop. And it's good to have when I get cold. But I have it hanging up because I have no room. My shop's like this big. And so it's stretching because you shouldn't hang your knitwear. And yet here I have stuff hung up.
Well, and I like people on Ravelry who journal their progress. And there are a lot of times they'll say something like on the Islington. And because I was like, oh, it's going to hang, somebody said, this is how many rows I did to bring it up. You can favor it. And I do. It's in my favorite. So I remember to go to that and find her comments about what she did. And I'm bad about that, too. I don't always journal.
I haven't done it.
I will
put my
upload pictures but I don't always journal.
We'll have a class on that, too, how to upload, because I don't. I need to, but I just don't have time. Like, something's got to give, and really that's...
5 minutes is all it takes.
I know. It's just my list to do just grows.
It doesn't have to be
infinitesimally.
I don't always type in what the yarn is or where I got it and how much I paid for it. I don't care.
Oh no,
unless it's you, and then I put it in there.
Yes, well, thank you.
It cost me an arm and a leg.
It's part of my soul. That's all. But so Ravelry, the other good thing too is before you start a project, and I know I've mentioned this before, but look for errata. Errata just means mistakes. They've found mistakes. If you click on it, then it's going to take you someplace that either the pattern's been adjusted or it's going to say in line blah, 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 make sure that it's this, not this. And so that can save you a lot of hassle and headache as well.
But the pattern from Lane, you go directly to their site.
Yeah.
And also Interweave and Vogue too. You'll go to their that magazine issue.
Yeah, they'll pull you to those sites.
And you do need to check that.
Yes.
And sometimes it's like I forget, and it's like, oh, why isn't this? Oh, that's why.
Yeah, and we've all gotten caught because you get excited, right? Who doesn't get, like, what do you call it, cast-on-itis?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because I finished 2 sweaters.
Yeah. So now you're like, oh,
I get to start 5.
What's next?
Right.
What's next?
I can start 5 because I finished 2.
You get excited. You want your yarn yesterday. If you haven't already got something in mind, you want to go in and you want to start it immediately. You don't want to have to order it. You want to start yesterday. And so sometimes we forget. We forget. So definitely it's your friend. And it does. It comes up with other colorways and patterns that you might not go, I would never put those two together, but that looks really stunning.
I have done some sweaters where I see something and I go, oh, that's gorgeous. I want those colors. Maybe it was, sorry, I don't remember.
There are some that...
my Dagna, because I saw the J sweater done in a raspberry and chocolate. And it was gorgeous.
Yes.
So then...
Yes, that's right. We've done some that we were like, oh my God, okay, well, bless you for wearing that, but my goodness, that's it's giving me a headache.
And you know what, though, you can't always tell because of the way the computers or the camera takes the picture. Because I've sent you stuff on my phone, and I go, it's really not that color.
Right. Right, and that's the whole thing too. Looking on your computers now, I have a Mac now. I had to come to the dark side, and so when I do my online ordering from some of my vendors, it comes up one colorway, and then you get it, and you're like, oh my God, I would never ordered this. It's too close to this. Had it come up the same, looking the same as it actually looks. You know, but everybody's phones and you know.
So what color do you think that is?
I feel like that's a blue-gray.
Yeah, it's a gray. It's not blue.
It's not blue. Oh,
no.
See, it looks blue to
it
me.
looks blue to me, too.
Yeah. So, yeah, here's...
I don't know what I used, but it came through like
this.
that.
To me, it looks like a blue. Gray. Yeah, I thought...
But it's a gray.
It definitely leans more blue to me. But, so that is one of Judy's new projects.
No, May. I'm going to start it in May because Dagna's coming along.
May. Yes, so we're going to do a knit along, and it's going to start up in June. So our knit along, we'll put it out. I'll put it on their website, shrimpandknits.com, under classes and events. And so we'll put out copies of what we're each going to work on, because Judy's got color work. I want to do this beautiful striping. Kate Davies, all hail
Kate Davies.
All hail Kate Davies. So we'll put out what we're going to work on. And if you want to work on it with us, you can do it virtually, or you can come in here. We're going to do it Wednesdays from 1 to 3 in the shop. And it's going to, so no sweater, because it's hot as Hades in the summer here. But we'll put it on if you want to come get all the stuff for it. I will give you a discount for joining us, 20% off.
If it's a nice day and she's really busy, we'll go down to Nectar and sit outside and have a drink. It can be iced tea.
It can be iced tea.
Iced coffee, and sit outside and knit under the tree with a little breeze.
And hopefully those creepy caterpillars don't jump on you while you're out there.
I've never had that happen.
I want it to, though, just to talk about it.
I've had one of the little geckos jump in my hair.
Oh, I love those little things.
Aren't they cute?
I love those little geckos.
Maggie eats them.
Oh, yeah. Well, dogs. So we started talking about, Judy's got some new stuff she's working on. But you did finish, remind me the name of this beautiful piece that you finished over here.
Sorry?
Yes. So,
Saari. I'm assuming it's like sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know. It's Norwegian. So.
Yes, so I'm sure we've all slaughtered it.
And remember I told you the ribbon. You put the ribbon on. It's a little bright, but it's so cool.
Look at how cute this came out. And so this is why you go to someone who knows how to sew.
And when you sew, you collect as much thread as you do yarn.
You literally can't. I had to zoom in the picture to even see where she sewed it on, because that's how beautiful it is. But isn't that fun? So if she's out there flashing people and stuff, you'll see this. She'll be like, oh my God, boobs! And that lovely stripe of ribbon.
Yeah, and you know what? It did tighten up the little bit of the waving.
Yeah.
On this. And this is the one where I discovered, because
Did you wet block the whole thing?
Oh yeah. Twice.
How long? How long did you let it soak?
I don't remember. I got busy doing something and then I came back in and got it. A couple hours.
Did it shrink at all?
I don't think so. I think it stretched.
Oh, okay.
Then I hung it the last day when it was just damp, because I wanted to stretch down. But I discovered something. This one fits beautifully.
Okay.
This one fits Trilani. Fits beautifully. This one wants to hang down and back, and so did my Flaming June. And I was sitting there and I'm going, I don't understand why. I don't understand why. And then I remember, I followed this one exactly. It had no shaping in the back.
See, and that's what the problem is. You didn't derivate from the plan.
I know. So now I know, no matter what, I will do shaping in the back, because it fits me better.
And that's where we have to learn our German short rows, people. German short rows.
Any short rows.
Any short rows, but we are fans of German
heritage.
short rows. It's a salute to our heritage. So German short rows are your friends. They are not as scary as you may think. So we can kind of talk about that as we get into, because I would like to
used to be a lot of American patterns had you do it here for like darts and sewing, and it's like that never really worked for me.
Right.
Even in sewing, darts never really worked for me. But the shaping back
and the
here,
shoulders.
So I wish I had done it.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because again, this is not one that I will wear to a black tie wedding or anything like that. It's just to throw on over jeans and let your sweater hang down below.
Yeah.
And I'll probably put a little clasp right here maybe to hold it. But other than that, it's just a throw on. And it's fine, because I really wanted to play with it.
Yeah.
And because of what I learned, ooh, you can really smell that.
The Eucalyptus? Oh, we just got some new Eucalyptus in from Verizon Knits, and we love them. And so Jasmine. I see.
Because this had a little bit of a smell. The wool did.
Did it?
And then now it smells.
Yes,
good.
that was the one. We had gotten a shipment in, and you could tell they had just dyed it and literally shipped it out, because everything was back ordered, because you could smell the vinegar that they used. You remember that? Was it Ba?
It was some of the Ba.
It was Ba yarn, and everything's hand dyed there, and so they sent it to us. So really bright hot off the presses. And
well, when I do mine, because you have to use an acid as a mordant, and so I use the vinegar, and so you can really smell the vinegar in my yarns, and so I always give it a good bath.
Yes.
And I always use the jasmine because it just smells so fresh and clean.
It's just lovely.
And I thought the other day I should have gotten that gallon when you said, "Do you want to buy a gallon?"
Well, I will buy you a gallon from Bryson when I do my next order.
So I learned I will do shaping from now on.
Yeah.
Somehow or other, which brings me into Dagna.
Okay.
And you were busy the other day, so we didn't really talk to you.
I know. I was cranking. I had a great day the other day.
Customers.
I know. I had all these new friends that came in.
So on Dagna, it doesn't have shaping, and I'm going to put the shaping in.
Is this Kate Davies? Dagna?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
No.
Sorry. Kate Dag. I don't know who wrote Dagna.
Okay.
Okay. So if you look at that picture, I know I'm going to have to add shaping. And Denise and I talked about it the other day.
Oh, that's cute.
So, but the pattern goes right up to the ribbing.
Kristen Drysdale. That's who made for Scandi work.
The pattern goes right up to the ribbing.
Okay. So it's bottom up.
I don't want to do the shaping here.
No, you want to do it at the neck,
I got to
don't you?
do it up here.
Yeah, the shoulders.
So I think I'm just going to have a little bit of a space between the color work and my ribbing, neck ribbing.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have to put it in, and so it'll be a little bit wider in the back and a little bit narrower in the front.
So then, will you start your color work lower?
No.
Okay.
No, I think I will do the whole color work and then do the shaping before I add the neck, the ribbing.
Okay.
So it won't go right up to it. There'll be a little bit of
space between.
between. And Denise said she's seen some patterns like that, and
Okay.
it looks fine. So that's what I'm going to do.
All right.
Because
you can be the
I
lab rat
now
on it.
know that I have to add shaping. If I don't, that's not going to fit me right
So-
because of my shoulders and
Yeah.
everything else. It's not going to fit the way I want. So, excuse me. I have learned that's what I have to do. Is add shaping.
Plus, Judi doesn't like to do anything she's supposed to do anyway.
that's
So,
not it.
yeah, no, she's like rebel. She's the middle child that's like,
am.
I am not doing it that way.
If you go left, I go right.
That's right. So, Judi's going to make it all her own. And she is in the process. We've got another month. Every month we have a really fun sock class. So we call it the
far behind.
Happily Knitting Socks series. And I feel like socks are really polemic. Either you love to make socks or you're not a fan. And I tried. I there was some coolness about it, but I was like, no, this isn't my time.
Socks I like to take outside and sit and knit by the pool or out in the backyard, and I haven't been doing that.
Well, it is good because it's a smaller project. The temperatures rise, people don't want big heavy things sitting on them while you're working on something. So socks are great.
What is this, lavender or
Lavender.
lilacs? Okay, so I was knitting this on the way home in the car from Birmingham. And first of all, I'm just, nature is not perfect. You may find a 4-leaf clover.
Okay.
You may not.
Okay.
You might find a 2-leaf clover.
Okay.
You
Sure,
find a rose that's perfect, and another
right,
one looks
right.
like it got run over by a dumpster. So, nature's not perfect.
No.
Right there.
So you screwed it up.
I screwed up
So you
there.
screwed it up.
The one of the lilacs was
Well,
blowing
it's
away.
going free. See this lilac piece? It's like
I didn't notice
I'm
it
not
till,
here.
and then I noticed that the wind
Where's the
really
other one?
caught this stem.
I wouldn't have noticed either. So, all right. Well, just when you're in the galloping horse rule, so make sure that the horse doesn't oust you.
When you're saying this, when it's a flower or something, nature's not perfect.
Nature is not perfect. So I cannot make perfect socks because only God makes perfect things. Is that right?
Yeah, that purple is bright.
This purple. So when we went to go put the order in for this, we looked at all different
But
colors.
I think it's pretty.
I love
Against
it.
the
It
white.
pops. It pops. But the purple we had was a little more
Subdued.
lavendery.
Yeah, it was more periwinkle.
it was more periwinkle. It definitely had some more blue in it. And this one, I was like, that looks good. So we ordered in. Woo! Is it purple? This is like Barney purple.
It's purple.
It is purple. And but that's well. Is the toe going to be the same color?
Yes.
That's going to be like ass kicking socks. Woo! So all right, I like it.
So the next one, because you have to make a matching one, might be perfect.
Okay, well probably not
We're
though
not
because
going to
nature's
well,
not.
not if I'm in the car.
Not if
because
you're in the car.
obviously, if I'm in the car.
You were making a Buc-ee's run for me, so
Yeah, that was fun.
that was great. But we do have our next knitting. Sock of the Month Club is coming up in May. Do I have it written down? Not
it's
yet.
the red hot
So it's like
chilies.
I think the second, yeah, it's the chilies in our book.
In honor of Cinco de Mayo.
That's right. So
it's not going to be done by Cinco de Mayo.
that's all right. That's all right. It doesn't, we didn't say which Cinco de Mayo.
No, we never put a date.
We don't put a date. So if you would like to see what those look like or knit along with us or join us for the class, you can always go to the website. It's, again, shrimpandknits.com, and it is on the classes and events section of that. So we do have some new gorgeous yarn in. Okay, so I hate to brag. Close your ears. I don't want you to get all full of yourself here, but I can't keep these Judi's beautiful dyed yarns on the shelf. I mean, literally, like, so last week I didn't even put it up yet, and we're never ever well, they're like 7 or 8 evers, I can't remember.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Never ever getting back together. Well, we had to overdo
I
it.
did abbreviate this one.
We didn't want Taylor Swift to sue us, so we went over and above with that. So she made another one of these. We're never getting back together. It is really beautiful
And you know,
greens.
it was hanging there, and a woman came in because she's going to do your pressed flowers, and she picked kind of like a gray background.
Yep. Oh, it's going to be
And we
gorgeous.
couldn't find anything to go with it. And I went, hey, what about that?
Yeah.
And it was perfect.
Gorgeous. And then she's like, I'm not going to make this again. I don't like it. And everybody loves it. So I have another one. I have another one in stock if you're looking for that. This is the one. This is, I think, I have to look up the numbers. I think it is the number one seller at my shop of all the yarns that I have. This is Mermaid's Tail. I have 2 of them.
Yeah, I just ordered the yarn in DK, so it's not quite, it's kind of a heavy fingering for DK.
Yep.
And there's only 328 yards as opposed to what?
400 is usually what you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, 438 is what you have on these
so it's
two.
100 yards less,
Yep.
and I'm out of the fingering, and they were too, so as soon as they get more in, I'll get the fingering back in, but we will have it in DK. It's supposed to be here like any day.
So now I know that you say with any of these hand dyes, but yours, to block wash cold with salt. Would there be also a benefit of vinegar?
You can do vinegar too.
So how much would you put in? Because I've never blocked with vinegar.
Not that much, maybe 2 tablespoons.
Okay, and then so you still want it cold, obviously.
Yeah.
And what does that do? Just kind of seal in?
Vinegar makes the dye stick to the yarn.
Okay.
Sometimes, and sometimes I've done that, you know, the only thing, you have to kind of apply some heat then, so it's okay. But vinegar will work if you don't have salt. Do the salt first if you can.
And then what do you just do? A sprinkle of salt in there?
I just take a handful and throw it in.
Okay.
Sometimes when, like with the turquoise on there.
Yep. It'll bleed.
Well, yeah, because it doesn't exhaust.
Right.
Sometimes reds won't exhaust.
Yep.
And if I'm seeing that it's not exhausting and it's not adhering to the yarn while I'm cooking it, I will throw in more vinegar.
How do you know it's dye hearing? Because it's not changing color? Is that how you know?
No, the dye bath is still
Full?
Yeah, it's got to be clear.
I see.
Most of the time it's clear when it comes out. The blues don't always want to, and if it's really, really bad, then I'll throw in a little bit more vinegar and cook it for maybe about 10 more minutes. Otherwise, it's just so minimal, it washes out when I give it its bath.
Gotcha.
Because I let it cool, and then I wash it in the Eucalan to get the vinegar smell out.
It's like the weirdest spaghetti ever.
Yeah.
Boiling it down.
Yeah,
But
it won't stick to the wall if you throw it. Sorry.
which makes it much more troublesome to knit if it's sticking to
I
the
wish
wall.
somebody had chosen this one to do seaweed in.
I know. This one is gorgeous. So I took this out because we are now in full-fledged gator season. In fact, my friend Christy sent me a video where somebody in Lawton Station, which is one of the neighborhoods here, there was a gator knocking at their door at 4:30 this morning. So
Are you serious?
Yeah, so they got it on the ring their ring camera.
Kevin was halfway up to the tee box in my
Kevin's
backyard.
her neighborly gator
That's
that lives
our
in her
backyard.
area.
He's on the move. I don't know.
They are all now. They're getting their swerve on in here. So
Well, you don't go out at night out your front door to walk the dog unless you've got a flashlight.
yeah, no, and because they're everywhere. I mean, they
are.
really
They move at night.
They don't want much to do with you, but respect them. They
don't want to. They don't like it when you cross their path.
Yeah,
either.
especially if they're looking for some love. But anyway, so this colorway is so fun. It's called Later Gator. This is Judy's as well. I have one of these in stock here. So let me know if you want this. Give me a call.
So
I'll put it
pretty.
aside for you.
I
It's
was
just
really
gorgeous.
excited when it was
It's
done.
just gorgeous. Also, this would look good in that seaweed scarf that you guys were making.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh, did you? I thought you were saying it would look good in pressed flowers. This one is my other favorite, and I know I showed you, we've got the Never Ever. This one is I can't believe, and I have, please come buy it, because otherwise I'm going to take it home with me, because I have hoarding issue. I mean, collection issues. This one is called Frost.
Full set.
I do, I want a full set. So this one has just a tiny bit of sparkle, and I know you can't see it in here because of the ring light, but it's just got this tiny bit of sparkle. It's called Frost, and it's just beautiful blues and greens, which of course is what I always gravitate to with all of my yarns. I try to not, that's why I went with pink this time, because usually I have blues and greens for everything. So I do have those in stock now, but if you would like them, give me a call. I also would like to thank, we had so many people in the last week since our last show. I've been looking for wannabe or just barber cords in general, and literally we have ordered at least a dozen different things. So I did get several phone calls from people helping us out to find them on Amazon and what to look for under it. So one of them was pony beads, that you look up how to lace pony beads, and the other one was a couple different ways. So I've ordered several to see which ones are going to work, but we are getting closer. So thank you for your help. I appreciate you guys giving us a little bit of advice, because we were struggling with these. So, but I did get the tins for them, and they're super cute. Okay, so let's talk about now. When I was putting this together, I decided that I was going to start to slip the first stitch. This is the selvage, which is the edge. Okay, so I wanted to slip the first stitch because I thought, well, maybe it'll be easier to pick it up when I have to, add to go onto the sleeves. And so Judi asked me, she's like, oh, do you know the pros and cons of just slipping the first stitch? And I had to admit that no. No, I don't. So she sent me this article, and I kind of want her, because she knows it more. I was skimming it, but I was dealing with Ralphie, the shop dog.
Yeah, and I got to reread it again. What I found, well, some people say, well, you always do it this way.
You don't always do anything, first of all.
Yeah, that always works. No, hold my beer. I'm going to find another way to do it. Hold my coffee.
Yep.
I'm going to find another way to do it.
Yeah, no.
So this is one from Tess Knits that I had put on my put it on my homepage, and couldn't find it this morning when I want to tell you. And then finally I found it. Yeah, new knitters ask me if one is supposed to always use edge stitches. My answer is pretty much yes, except for one or two specialized cases. I don't always use them because I don't like them. They come out too loose.
Right.
But what she says, and this makes sense, and I'd kind of forgotten it because I do my own way of picking up stitches.
Weird.
I know. When you're picking up stitches, you're really supposed to use 2 rows. So most designers,
so you go underneath the second row when you're picking up? Interesting. I don't.
Slip stitch, and you pick up using the stitch below it.
Okay.
So the slip stitch is supposed to be so you can see it.
Okay.
And then pick it up.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense, and that'll tighten your edge. I don't always do this. I can't see it always.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, I picked up the wrong one. It does make for a better
But if you're doing that, you got to make sure you're picking up from the correct side.
Right.
You have to be on the right side to pick up. If you're on the wrong side, then your stitch will be, see how this has got this kind of like Brady looking thing? Then that will be on your outside. And you don't want, unless you want that, but
here's the thing. It's not done the same way every time.
True.
So if somebody says this is the only way to do it, don't listen to them.
Don't listen. Anyone says that.
So this is from tessknits.com, 1973, selvage on edge stitches. Okay, wow, 1973.
1973 is before I was born. This is like antique.
Graduated from high school that year. So it has knitted selvage. It's got a good chart. And then garter stitch, okay. Slipped selvage, double twist selvage, chain selvage, and when to use each of these. And the one thing that was interesting that she said too, when it says edges that start with knit 2 together, or SSK, if you slip, knit, and then do the SSK or the knit 2 together, you're not going to have a weird bump then when you pick things up, because it's right at the edge of that seam and not part of that seam. And that makes sense to me.
That does make sense.
And that makes a lot more sense than doing it and going, I don't like the way this fits. So you would knit, you'd slip, knit, and then do your SSK and do your knit 2 together.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
I know. I liked it. I thought so. So this is really good. It's called tessknits.com, and you could probably find it under Technique Speak if you still. Actually, it's just from 2009.
Okay. I was born then. I was born by then.
That's my first year down here. Second year down here.
Oh, not me, but you know, I'm a little behind. But anyway, so
well, you've turned that age now.
Shut up.
Move that checkbox.
Buy it.
One more.
One more year. One more year before that. So those are some techniques to think about when you are.
Neat. And she'll keep a copy of it here if we need to look at it.
If you want to look at it, we got it here. So, but I do think, you know, a lot of newer knitters, you know, the first thing that I teach when I teach beginning knitting is, of course, how to cast on, and then I teach just the knit stitch. And until you can master the knit stitch, I don't let you move on to purl, because purl can be cumbersome, and a lot of people.
It changes your tension. If you don't know, if you're not knitting well, it can change your tension.
The whole thing can get flubbed up. So once you've mastered knit, then you go to the purl. And then once you've done that, you can do stockinette. And stockinette's a great stitch. I don't care how long you've been knitting. It's just it's a beautiful, clean, nice stitch. The challenge with stockinette stitch is that it curls. So one of the things that we like to talk about is making sure that you've done some kind of border or some type of edging. And I usually just recommend, you know, to beginner knitters, just do, you know, a knit one, purl one. So a little bit of ribbing on the side so it doesn't curl quite as much, and have a little border on the bottom.
And a garter stitch border will stretch also.
Yes.
So you do need something. You need something to anchor it. Even if it's not rolling, it's going to stretch on you. Yes. A sweater, unless you want that look that it rolls. So you've got to use something to anchor it, and so it's got to have a little bit of ribbing, or, you know, something. It can't just be pure garter, because that'll stretch on you.
Right. So, and that's why you'll see most knit, you know, fitted garments, they do have a ribbing on it.
Right.
And we went into this the other day where one of our dear lovies here is making a sweater, and you know, she's kind of learning as we go, and she kept going, why is this neck so big? And it just happened to be that she just didn't follow the pattern closely enough, in that she didn't go down two sizes of a needle. So if you are working on something that's going to be fitted and is using, you know, some kind of ribbing on the cuffs, on the collar, on the bottom, you need to go down a needle size, usually, not always. Okay, there's no always, but because it's going to tighten it all up. So when you have your cuffs, usually they're not going to be big and baggy the same as your sweater. It's going to have a little bit so that it pulls it in, and it's going to stretch less. It gives it shape. So, you know, sometimes they call for one size down, sometimes two.
Most of the patterns that I find call for two.
Yeah.
I don't always, and I probably should.
I don't either. I just kind of see how tight it is to me. So when I was doing timber, so if you remember, this is timber, and I finished it up, I don't know, a little while ago. This one, it was tight. I had already designed it to be a little tighter, plus I'm a tight knitter. So I had designed it to be a little bit tighter, and so I only went down one size because I didn't want it to be like, then I was then
it is tighter.
Pulling
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So in these cases, you know, but I know my knitting, so you really do have to trust also. You know what you're doing. If you're new, follow your pattern. It's okay. And if you have a question, that's why we have little yarn shops.
And with Dagna too, when I went back into Ravelry and read about people that used it, they said that the sleeves were tight. So some people, when I wrote it down, some people went up a size, and some people added stitches. Watch here, I wrote it right down. Watch here for the sleeves. Watch sizing here. Some added stitches, some went up a size. So that, you know, I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't gone into Ravelry and looked at it.
Right.
So when I wrote it on here, so I know.
So that way you don't forget, like me. I can read it, and 2 seconds later,
unless
like,
I'm doing
what?
Knit Companion, and then I forget that I wrote it down on here, and I put it in there.
True.
And, you know,
True. But, you know, and really start to recognize, and swatch, I was a big, like, swatch forever, but I've come to the dark side, and it's Judy's fault, yet again, because she's that influence. She's that influence.
On a sweater.
On a sweater, you've got to. So let's talk about, okay, we had this class for Linnea, and we had really talented people come and do some of the color work on it. It's a gorgeous sweater. It is in the Nordic.
I wore it Easter Sunday, and the waitress went nuts over it.
Because it's gorgeous. So it's in this book, The Nordic Knitting Primer, okay? And this is a great book, and she does a wonderful job of really talking you through the whole pattern and everything you need to focus on, and really... and they have it even, you know, look at this.
And she said that's the hardest pattern in the book, but she talks you through it so much. It's like, why is this so hard? It went together so easily.
It's gorgeous.
And she says it's the hardest pattern in the book. It's like, no.
She's coming back to me, too, because Judy's stole her from my shop, even though it's
wore
Judy's and she wanted to wear it, but whatever.
I'll tell you what, everywhere I have worn that one, I mean, I've worn several of my color work, so that one gets the most compliments.
This one
every
is
single time.
Is gorgeous. And I have to say,
in Mississippi, I wore it on Friday night to the lecture, and people went nuts over it.
It's beautiful. So when Judi put this together, the first thing we tried to decide is what yarn would be appropriate, because a lot of times, correct me if I'm wrong, colorwork has heavier yarn. Is that wrong?
Depends on what the sweater is. A lot of Nordic sweaters and Scandinavian knits, yes.
Okay, so when you were looking at this, we were trying to find yarn that would be good for colorwork and good for
down here
in the south, so it's not so heavy, because it does get coldish here. I hate to say cold because I'm from the north and we don't see anything like that.
Well, it's been cold here.
It
was only in the 50s Sunday.
Yeah,
and you watched the Masters.
Yeah.
And you saw them on
the
Saturday.
Rain and all that craziness.
Yeah, it was pretty much what it was doing down here too.
Yeah.
Even though we're 2.5 hours south, it was still going on like that down here.
So Judi chose Luma, and I have the Fiber Company. I have almost everything that they carry.
I love Fiber Company.
Love the Fiber Company, and their stuff is just gorgeous. So I'm using here. This is Road to China Light. It is soft. It's fluffy. This is heaven in a skein. Luma is beautiful, and it knits beautifully. It holds your stitches. Look at how lovely this holds your stitches. And it is made of cotton, linen, merino wool, and silk.
Perfect for down here.
Perfect. So it looks like you've got this heavy, beautiful sweater on, but really it's not as thick and heavy. However, we figured something out. So Robin, who is one of our knitting family here, she made the sweater as well. And we talked about her sweater last week because she chose to change up the cuffs a little bit, and boy, does it make it pop. So we're going to show that first. So this is her colorway for the Linnea sweater. Okay, isn't it gorgeous?
And it looks so pretty on her.
And it just fits her. And it's not completely, finished. She just finished doing the cuffs last night. But here they are. Isn't this awesome how these just really pulls the color, and it does give this extra little pop to the color here, I think.
She thought she was running out of yarn. But we're not saying that. We're going to say it's a design element.
It's a design element. She did think she was running out of gray, but it's okay. But so then we started to look at it, and I was like, Judi goes, this one feels a little heavier than mine. And it is heavier than, and so upon looking at it,
I don't know whether she used a smaller needle or not. I don't know whether maybe. Well, it is a little.
It's definitely tighter.
She's a tighter knitter.
She is a tighter, and I'm a tighter knitter than Judi too. So even when we knit the exact same, Judy's is looser and mine is more squished tight because apparently I carry lots of tension in my life. Who knew?
I'm Duncan Wine.
Who knew?
I go the Gretchen Osborne. Let's sit on the dock and drink and then go knit.
I don't. I am tired and I want to get some stress out of my life. That's my knitting. So everything's like...
It's supposed to calm you.
It does calm me by the end of it, and then I'm go to bed. so that's where I put all my tension into it.
I did not drink during this.
No, I mean, I got it. If I drink it all, it gets screwed up.
I don't know, because I guess the color work I do by myself, so I'm already relaxed, and I don't have kids at home anymore that scream at me. Mm-hmm. And my husband knows not to look at me or touch me or talk to me when I'm...
He's been well trained. He's been well trained.
He has.
But I have to say, so in certain things, when you knit tighter, it makes it denser. Mm-hmm. It makes it denser. And so that is, definitely a factor. When I was doing...
I'm going to be able to wear mine more than she's going to be. Well, she goes up north a lot.
She does.
She's from Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she'll wear it up in Canada.
Absolutely.
Where I can wear it down here.
Yeah, and she could wear this here too because it's not super heavy, but it is denser.
And it was weird because I'm like, we used the same. Looking at Shelly's, and Shelly's on the second arm. She's getting there.
Okay.
She's closer to mine, I think.
So again, your tension can completely change the makeup of your sweater. So when I did Press Flowers, and my Press Flowers class is this Saturday, so come join me. I used the wrong. It wasn't the wrong. I chose yarn that was heavier, and because I'm a tight, I chose the weight of the yarn was worsted weight, and I should have really stayed with fingering, but it made it very dense and heavy, and I'm a tight knitter to top it all off, so it made it more like a tapestry than just this nice billowy type of a shawl.
But it stretched out softer and more drapey.
It did, but it took me stretching. Yeah, it took me stretching it to make it that way. But again, I knew that going into it that I wasn't. I just like the colorways, so that was my choice. I'm full.
I like the color.
I like these colors together. They're pretty.
We can get that color in another. No, I like
No,
this color.
I want to start today, and I'm going to use this color. Okie doke.
As you knit more and more, you realize that really doesn't work.
Yeah. No, it'll come together. It'll all come together. So, you know, with this, we talked about how she just decided to go a little rogue. I like this at the bottom here. If you wanted to change colors in a chart, how do you do that?
Change the colors in a chart?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you asked. I was reading that this week. Because this is a beautiful, what I'm doing.
All hail Kate Davies.
All hail Kate Davies. Her chart is just absolutely beautiful. And those are the colors she used. You make a grayscale copy of it. Get your colored pencils out.
Ooh.
And I'm going to try different combinations.
Oh. That's a good idea.
Yeah, as soon as I find time to color, I haven't had a chance this week, but
yeah,
somebody keeps making me dye yarn.
I know. Who would do that? God.
But no, she said make it grayscale because I'm thinking I want to do like the lightest orange and then the reddish orange and kind of go this way. But then I got to remember that the sweater itself is that dark indigo.
Yeah.
So I don't want a dark color here and here. So I'm thinking I might have to put, I don't know. I just really have to play because I was thinking at first I'd put the green here. But if I put the dark teal that I have, or aqua, or whatever you want to call that thing, it's too close to the indigo.
Yeah, so it won't.
So I may want to put more of that springy green down
Next
here.
to indigo, yeah, that will pop.
That will pop. Play.
Because, so, you know, and then you could, you know, you've got to find stuff that kind of works. So,
I've made,
right? So this is her indigo that she's going to make the sweater, the main color of the sweater. So she's talking about this green. I think this will be great.
To it, don't you think?
Look at that. Yes. Because that's also, that's the two I'm going to do. I'm not doing this one. I'm doing
will
this
that
green.
Take it away from the whole design?
This is the green I'm doing for my stripy sweater.
Will that take it away from the whole design?
Well, what would you do next? Do you have like an orange?
Well, I was going to put I was going to put the...
Was it this one?
I've got that one, and then it's that one up there, isn't it?
I think so.
I think so.
All
so
right.
I was going to put those two, but then I've got a blue and I've got a teal. This blue.
Yep.
And this one.
All right. So these are your colorways.
I may want to put this blue
Right.
in between these two.
All right. So, and then this.
What do you think? I kind of like that.
Yeah, I kind of like that too. Because it definitely breaks them up. And it's far enough away from this blue. But then do you want this blue next to this blue?
I don't
yeah,
know.
I think
I
you
haven't
could.
put that anywhere yet.
Well, what the heck? You don't want to leave this poor guy out.
I know. I'm
Rude.
trying to think.
So I think it will pop enough next to this too.
So I would put the green. I would put the green here. And the teal here. No.
This green? So you want this on the bottom. This is your main color, right?
Yeah.
And then you want the next one to be this blue
I
on
was
this green?
thinking that.
And then this one?
I don't know.
I don't like that so much.
I don't either.
Okay.
So what if I put this in the center?
Where the blue is?
No.
Which one's the center?
This one.
Yeah, but which one's the center?
Right here.
And then move its way out?
Yeah.
So wouldn't you just do it in reverse? Like this? So wouldn't you go up to this and then back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So make that my center instead of that. I was
Yeah.
thinking of making that my center. What does that look like in between these two?
This green? Next to this green. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, and this.
And
then
then
put this.
that one,
No, put this in between.
like this?
Yeah. That's not bad.
No, that's not bad either.
So that's why I've got my colored pencils.
Well, you
will
can
make
play
it for
around
you,
with those.
And then next week or the week when I get done, we'll vote on which one we like the best.
All right, so we will check this out. So these are the colors that she's working with.
I got lots of squares to color in.
Lots
so
of
I don't
coloring,
know.
color by number here going on. So, so when I start, I'm going to be doing Kate Davies.
All hail Kate Davies.
All hail Kate Davies. It's in
Oh,
this
yeah.
book, right? Can
Yep.
you show me what that pattern is? So these are the two that I'm going to use. this
Oh,
one.
I got so much crap in here. Let me take it out.
Yeah, this one and this one are what I am using to make this pattern, which we're going to come up with in 1 second, because of course I'm ill-prepared. Bless you. Salud. I'm ill-prepared for this. So
this pattern.
Yep.
But do it in the stripes. It's the next one down.
So, yes. So I'm going to be using this because I want to make it a cardigan. Because, of course, now I've become a rebel like Judi. So I'm making this cardigan here. But I am going to use the colorways in the pattern before it. I think it's before it.
Yeah, there it is.
This one. Because I want to do that blue and green. So this is what I'm going to do. This colorways, but also in the cardigan. So if you would like to join me. I'm going to have to steek it. So that's going to be, but I did get new, what the heck are those things called for the
needle felters.
Needle felters. I got some of those in too. So if this is something you'd like to do with me and steek for the first time, right here, live on the air, in front of everyone, I'm going to steek. Not streak. Steek. So we're going to do that one. And Judi, what are you doing in the summertime? I can't remember. I have no brain cells that function. What is your one that you're doing for your knit along? I'm glad you can't remember either because I feel less like I'm almost 50.
Well, I'm working on this one.
Okay. Is that your knit along one? That one?
I thought it was going to be that one.
Oh, that's the one you're going to do? So she's going to work on all this color work this summer. So you have
my
two.
June one. I got made a color.
This is she's made a color. So that's kind of what we're going to work on. If you would like to join us on either of those projects, you want to buy the kit here with me, let me know, and I will give you 20% off the full kit.
Yep, and we'll have fun.
We are going to have fun. I can't wait. So come in here and hang out with us because we're super fun. We are going to offer this class. Look at this beauty. Okay, Judi had a black tie wedding to go to, and she wore this over, it was a navy blue dress, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, this beautiful navy blue, nice fitted dress, and she wore this gorgeous piece over it. And she, of course, went rogue on it, as she does, and we're going to offer this as a class.
I could have made it a little bit longer, but it was okay. And here's the funny thing, Norma, our friend Norma.
Yep.
Do you know that yesterday it was 90 degrees in New Hampshire and Rhode
Really?
Island? Yeah.
No, I did not know that.
Well, anyway, she sent a picture in our little group chat of a poncho, a lace poncho. And because she has to go to a black tie wedding in Newport, Rhode Island.
Ooh, one of my favorite places.
Yeah, well, she said that, same thing like us, that they had a group rate for the hotel, $700 a night was the group rate. So they said, now we'll stay somewhere else. They can't find anything for under $1,000 a night. So they said, we're going to be staying a couple hours away.
They can stay with my parents.
But she said, I was thinking of wearing it. I said, over my dress. And I said, oh, kind of like what I did. She goes, yeah, that gave me the idea to do it. Because she said my dress has spaghetti straps.
Yeah.
And she's going to wear her lacy one over top. So I decided yesterday I've now become, what do they call them, influencers?
Oh, she's an influencer. You saw it here.
Yeah, so I've got to get my TikTok account.
Please do. And then you can do my TikToks because my daughter does mine right now and I only have 3 as a result.
I know. So
like,
she goes,
look at all my 8 friends.
Yes, you are. She said, you gave me the inspiration that I decided I was going to do it.
Well, you've had such compliments. Not only are you an influencer now, but you're also guru. So I'm honored, and you're a delight.
I am always a delight.
She's a delight. So
so that was kind of fun. She goes, yeah, you gave me the idea to do that. So
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. What are you casting on here?
This is Dagna. This is this.
Oh. Okay.
This
now
is
it's all
kinda
coming
weird.
together.
This is the way, you do the ribbing, and then like I did on this.
It's kind of fluffy.
Yeah, it's going to be nice.
Soft.
It's going to be a lightweight.
Yes, this is
this one you did the same thing. On this, you started with the ribbing.
Okay.
And then
you work your way in?
And then you knit it in the round. So last night what I did was I added the steeks. But this is kind of weird, this one, because instead of just picking up that and how do I want to say it? Instead of just, picking it up and going now, you had to put 7 stitches of ribbing on waste yarn.
Okay.
That's going to be my band. And this one is a different band. They have you sew it on after you're done. So this is like, I don't know, but I'm going to follow it and see. So then I had to pick up and do my 5 stitches.
Okay.
There they are. Steek part. And now I'm ready to change the needles and join it together.
Interesting.
And go. I know. So this is kind of weird. I don't know whether this is going to bug me or not hanging down. A lot of people said I didn't do it that way, but I thought, and then a lot of people said I love this way. It's so different and it works so much easier that I thought, yeah, okay, I'll give it a try.
Now, weren't you talking about you wished that one of your necklines you had gone all the way over on instead of doing that?
Yeah,
all the way?
this one.
That was that one, yeah. So do you think it's going to end up being the same?
No, because see, you sew it on.
I see.
So I can go up. It
Okay.
looks like I go up. I don't know. I'll have to play and see.
Yeah.
Just because I made this thicker. I
Yeah.
mean, I made it wider. Maybe not with this one. And I didn't like the buttonhole that they said to do. It was like really sloppy. So I'm going to do my own buttonholes when I get to it because I didn't like that one at all.
Okay.
But that's down at the bottom and it doesn't matter. So this is Dagna. I cast on and I did all my ribbing, 10 rows of knit
So
one
pretty.
purl
And
one,
you're
knit
doing
one,
brown
purl one.
for the other color.
Yeah, and
oh,
I thought,
so pretty.
I thought at first, ooh, I don't know, this is really loose because that's a size 3 and I got to go up to 5s. But I think it'll be okay because then it's not going to be so heavy.
Yeah.
And because I am like short one ball of it, because this is what I bought at Eat Sleep Knit.
Yeah.
I may make it 3/4 length.
You're going to be yarn
which, you know,
insecure.
it'll be, you know.
You're going to be yarn insecure. We'll see
Well,
how
I
it
think
is.
I'll be okay because I'm thinking about instead of making it long sleeve, just making it 3/4 length. I'll
Okay.
get more use of it down here.
Well, the good news is I
See
saw
right
this is
here?
Manos de Uruguay, and we have a new rep that hopefully will be meeting us
Oh,
this
I can't
month.
wait. I can't wait to meet
I
her.
know. So hopefully, and then we can get started with some Manos here
So
at
that
the
yeah,
shop.
that's what this is. I've worked on it a little bit each day. I think I tried to work on it here Tuesday, but we were so busy and
I don't even pay attention.
Claire was next to me.
I had a lot of things going
Well,
on Tuesday.
we've been playing Super Sleuth this week because there's supposed to be a big wedding down here this weekend. A lot of celebrities.
They're in
Trying to
town.
figure out. We still got to figure out if. I keep telling Claire, don't you want me to come visit you? Because
She-
it's in Claire's.
She thinks
neighborhood.
Simone Biles is getting married here.
I think so. I think it is. Because I keep saying, well, it's a possible, it is any day now, her wedding. She said it, was
could
so many
be.
days away.
Yeah, I don't think it's her though.
And so she said, and I was reading a post that said, a possible, and it's a destination wedding, definitely.
Okay.
And they said possibly Bora and Bora. And I'm like, nobody goes to Bora and Bora to get married. That's a smokescreen. She's
All
got
right.
to be here.
So here's the plan. Make sure someone start a GoFundMe account for bail because I have a feeling that Judi is going to end up climbing some wall this weekend to find out
I don't know.
who is there. Well, anyway, we'll find out next week if Judi gets arrested or not here live on Irreverent Knits. But until then, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you've learned a little bit
Send
something.
bail money.
Send to GoFundMe. We've got to bail Judi out. So thank you so much. We hope you have a great week. If you like our show, please subscribe. And you can always find us on shrimpandknits.com. All of our stuff is out there. And we love for you to be a part of our family. So thank you so much. Have a great week. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.